So, my most observant viewers out there might realize that the footage playing is not from Dark Souls 3 as it usually does, but rather from Bloodborne. Well, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning here, and I've just finished my first playthrough of Bloodborne. So this is going to be a little bit more unscripted than my usual videos, but I felt like it was necessary to get it out there. Well, what is there to really say? The game is absolutely fantastic. It's incredible. I am blown away, and I feel guilty for not getting to it sooner. Between the visual design, the gameplay, and the music, it's so it's just such it's a departure from Dark Souls, but keeps a lot of the familiar formula that made it so great to begin with. I still kind of need time to digest it as I've literally just finished. I have some things I still haven't finished yet. I haven't beaten Ligarius, the Celestial Emissary, or Ebriatus yet. Those are the three bosses that I did not encounter. I haven't actually kind of let the credits roll yet in case I need to jump in there and finish, but all the main story bosses are done along with most of the optionals. And also, I haven't played the DLC yet. I might wait for that to go on sale, or look, I might just go out and grab it because I'm eager to try out that. From Software definitely makes some of the best DLC in the business, and I wouldn't want to miss out on this at all. So, as you may have noticed, I'm quite keen on lore. I know, big shocker, right? And it's great now that I've actually finished the main story of Bloodborne, I can finally get to both watching, reading, and listening to Bloodborne lore. And there's a few things I've noticed upon me beginning to look into Bloodborne lore. In my opinion, Bloodborne lore is a lot more in-depth and complex than Dark Souls lore. I began reading I think it's called The Pale Blood Hunt by Redgrave, before I had actually started playing the game. And I stopped myself because I realized I needed to play this game before listening to all this, and I'm honestly happy that I did. And in the preface, Redgrave says that while he enjoys Dark Souls, he doesn't talk about the lore that much because he just doesn't find it as alluring and perhaps as multifaceted as the lore in Bloodborne. And I said to myself, well, how can that be possible? I've been quite deep into Dark Souls lore. I know how kind of complex it is, and I'm only now starting to realize what he meant by that. Don't get me wrong, I still love Dark Souls lore, and I still think it's a fascinating kind of slate to have a look at and investigate, and I will not stop making Dark Souls lore just because I've played a little bit of Bloodborne. But I must say I am intrigued by the concept of Bloodborne's lore and maybe talking about it myself a little bit at some point. That being said, I would really like to hear what you would think about hearing some Bloodborne lore. I know some of you might not even have played Bloodborne, as it is a PS4 exclusive, and I may or may have not bought a PS4 exclusively to play this game, or at least this was the primary point of my purchasing of a PS4. So by all means, please let me know if you'd be interested in hearing some Bloodborne lore from my perspective. The couple things that are holding me back on doing this at the moment is, firstly, it's on PS4, recording footage, at least on the vanilla software that is available with the console, is a little bit finicky. When I record Dark Souls 3 footage, I'm using Shadowplay. It's very quick. It's easy to manage and format and everything and use with my editing software. I can use camera tools to get great, cinematography. In Dark Souls 3, swooping shots and stuff that I think have added a lot to my videos. And of course, I can't do that in Bloodborne because no such software exists, obviously. Secondly, I'm not sure that many of you would be interested, but again, let me know if you are or not. And yeah, I mean, look, it's still pre-DLC for Dark Souls 3. There's still going to be a lot to talk about. There's things we learn in the DLC might completely contradict a lot of the things I've been saying and a lot of the things that other people have been saying. It's still a very fertile ground, while Bloodborne, however convoluted and kind of multi-leveled it may be, has been touched. And of course, I'm sure those of you that are familiar with Redgrave know there have been some extremely dedicated lore hunters involved in it. And you know what, good for them, because it's incredible to see their process. And you know, I would be stepping into an area that has already been extensively covered. But that's not to say that I couldn't bring something new to it myself. I'm sure I could. But I need to know that, it would be worth it and that you guys would be interested. Also, I would need to educate myself on the areas that need covering, because I'm sure that there are areas that people have been a bit intimidated by and not covered. Look, Giants, with Dark Souls, Giants have been around for 3 games. Yes, the Giants in Dark Souls 2 have been quite extensively covered, but Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, the nature of Giants, before my video came out, there hadn't really been anything. Hawkshaw had touched on, the origins of Giants in his timeline video, but apart from that, not really, not too much. So I'm thinking of, beings like that have been around for 3 games and no one's really touched them in any kind of serious detail. There's got to be something from Bloodborne that people haven't touched. It's been around for a lot less, not so much time as all the sequels of Dark Souls, and such a such a multi-leveled game as Bloodborne has to have some areas that have not been touched. So that's something I'm definitely interested in doing. Those of you who are Bloodborne fans, who are well versed in the lore, firstly, please send me recommendations on stuff to watch and listen to kind of give myself a good basis of understanding of what's going on. But also tell me areas in Bloodborne that you want to see talked about, because obviously you're going to know more than I do. And while I may not bring my maybe long tenure of experience in Bloodborne to the table, I can bring my investigative process, which I assure you is as comprehensive as I can possibly be. I do put a lot of effort into my Dark Souls videos, and look, I hope some of you can see that and see how that might be able to apply to Bloodborne in a positive way. So that's what I need from you guys, basically. But yeah, I'm still just kind of blown away at this point. Look, it's about 1:30 in the morning now, and I should be getting some sleep soon. But I did think that it was necessary to put this out and let you know this thing. PS4 records in 15-minute chunks, as far as I'm aware. So I was kind of trying to stretch this out 15 minutes, but then I realized, who wants to hear me talk about nothingness for 15 minutes? So I might just close it up here. But yeah, I don't know. Look, I've got like a list on my computer of like 35 to 40 videos, which is all about Dark Souls 3, and the series in general, about stuff I'd like to talk about. So there is by no means a shortage of content on the way. In fact, there's more of a surplus. But as I've said in comments before when talking to you guys, I'm constantly growing this list, which means every time that I want to make a video, I always have something that I can look into, always something I can put my brain to work on and start on. At the moment, like this video is completely impromptu. I didn't expect to finish Bloodborne tonight. The video I'm working on right now is about possibilities of lore for the DLC, and which areas of lore I would really like to see have more stuff added to it in the Dark Souls 3 DLC. So I talk about a couple different things that I'd love to see that would help the community as a whole, but also kind of help me maybe revisit areas of lore that I've covered that might be incomplete and I might be wrong about. And I'll be kind of following all the news coming out about the DLC as it comes out. But I am starting to ramble now, and I'm starting to fall asleep, so this might be the best time to stop it. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Please let me know what you're thinking. Have you guys enjoyed Bloodborne as much as I have? I'm sure some of you have absolutely hated it, and in that case, you're probably pressing the unsubscribe button right now. But, still going to have Dark Souls things coming, so don't worry about that. And take it easy. Have a nice morning, day, or evening, whatever you're having. Have a drink on me. Okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm rambling. Okay, bye-bye.